tensile test and tensile properties. Today we will discuss the tensile test and tensile properties in details. Okay. In previous class, we have discussed about the tensile test and some mechanical properties and the definition of mechanical properties and their physical meanings. Means what does those mechanical properties and the tensile properties like yield strength, UTS, uniform elongation. Okay, and strain hardening exponent, external strain hardening uh, means n value and k value. So, what does they means? We have discussed in the previous class. Okay, today we will discuss in details the tensile test and tensile properties. So, before going to the tensile test, I would like to discuss inside. I would like to give some concept of stress and strain. I think all of you know the what the terminology that the stress means. I think all of you know the terminology stress means what does mean the stress. So can anyone tell me what is the stress and what is the strain? So
सर लोड को सहन करना जो होता है वो स्ट्रेस होता है सर।
yes, stress is
स्ट्रेस ही सर जो लोड को सहन करता है सर, मटेरियल के अंदर जो स्ट्रेंथ होती है सर।
लोड जो सेंस करती है वो स्ट्रेस होती है, ये कह रहे हो ना?
यस सर।
हाँ, लोड लोड
जी
जो
सर।
सेंस करती है, नहीं देखो, जो अगर लोड अप्लाइड करेंगे तो क्या होगा, द मटेरियल विल इलोंगेट, देखो ना। इफ यू अप्लाइड लोड, अगर लोड अप्लाइड करूंगा तो मटेरियल इलोंगेट होगा, और इलोंगेट करने के लिए लोड अप्लाइड करना पड़ेगा, तो लोड सेंस होगा। तो लोड मीन फोर्स। अगर मैं फोर्स दूंगा मटेरियल पर तो मटेरियल इलोंगेट होगा, ठीक है। तो दिस इज एक्चुअली लोड। ये तो स्ट्रेस नहीं है ना, इज दिस स्ट्रेस? मैं कह रहा हूँ व्हाट इज स्ट्रेस, दिस इज if you apply the load then material will elongate, and this is actually called the load, not a stress. So what is stress?
सर फोर्स एक्टिंग पर यूनिट
Yes,
एरिया।
force acting per unit area. So what happen when you apply this force, then the area will decrease. Means if you apply the tensile force, means suppose in this case, if you stressing this material, then what happens? The cross sectional area means this area, means the area just perpendicular to the applied force. Means if you are applying the force here, so the area of just perpendicular to applied the force. So ये जो area है, so this force divided by per unit cross sectional area is called the stress. Okay, means per unit cross section में कितना force apply हो रहा है. Okay, if the material means suppose this rod, please off microphone on here. So suppose the diameter of this rod is more, means if the diameter is more d, okay, then you have to apply more force, ज़्यादा force देना पड़ेगा F. And if the rod of this bar is a small d, means this d greater than, means d greater than d, means in this case the diameter is less. So in this case the force applied is obviously less. Okay, समझ रहे हो ना? अगर डायमीटर ज्यादा होगा तो ज्यादा फोर्स देना पड़ेगा मटेरियल को खींचने के लिए, एंड
यस सर।
अगर डायमीटर छोटा होगा तो कम फोर्स देना पड़ेगा। तो बट मटेरियल सेम ही है, मटेरियल इज द सेम, सपोज स्टील को ये कर रहे हो, खींच रहे हो, स्टील को डिफरेंट क्रॉस सेक्शन के लिए डिफरेंट लोड देना पड़ रहा है, यही है ना। बट तो जो मटेरियल जो प्रॉपर्टीज है, तो लोड इज नॉट ए प्रॉपर्टीज, क्योंकि लोड चेंज हो रहा है अकॉर्डिंग टू क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया, लोड चेंज हो रहा है, मीन्स अकॉर्डिंग टू द साइज और शेप, size of the material, the load is changing to deform the material. But if you divided this cross sectional area, then you get the stress, and this stress is the material properties, means either मीन्स अगर रॉड का जो क्रॉस सेक्शन एरिया अगर ज्यादा होगा तो ज्यादा फोर्स लगेगा, बट इफ यू डिवाइडेड बाय दिस क्रॉस सेक्शन एरिया देन यू विल गेट द सेम स्ट्रेस वैल्यू। ओके, if the diameter is less, then less force will be required to deform the material, and in this case you will divide the force with cross section area, and in this case cross section area is less, so in this case the stress will be same from the previous one. Okay, so stress is nothing but a force divided by unit area. Okay, and this stress is called actually engineering stress. Okay, and another case, this is a stress and a strain. So what is a strain? A strain means the material, how much the material elongates, how much the material elongate, material कितना elongate हो रहा है. Suppose in this case the length of the cylinder bar is L. Okay, L. In the previous, the length of the cylinder bar is L. In the previous case, the length of the cylinder bar is L naught, and after applying force, the length increases to L. Okay, मीन्स पहले L naught था, अभी इसके L हो गया, तो कितना इंक्रीज हुआ? L minus L naught, and with respect to L naught, so L minus L naught divided by L naught is the engineering strain. Okay, so this actually L minus L naught is nothing but a delta L, means how much material elongate. Okay, so this delta L divided by L naught is the engineering strain, means how much the material elongate with respect to its original size. Okay, so now if force means applied force, if force is in Newton, means unit of force is Newton, and the diameter and length of the cylinder bar is mm, then what will be the unit of engineering stress and strain? Can anyone tell what is the unit of engineering stress and strain? In this case, the unit of engineering stress will be how much?
न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर.
Newton per meter square. Good. So this Newton per meter square is called MPa. Okay. And in case of engineering strain,
No units, sir.
so here millimeter will cancel. So this is actually unitless.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But if you multiply this value by 100, then you will get in percentage. Okay. So engineering strain is in percentage. But by just it multiply the value by 100. Okay, then you get in percentage. Okay, understand? Now this is the experimental setup of a tensile test. So this is the machine of Istron machine. This is maybe in servo hydraulic or servo electric. Hence this machine can be driven by hydraulic or electric. Okay, and in this machine there are two parts. Means two jaw are there. One is upper and one is another is lower jaw. So this jaw is used to grip the material. Okay, ये जो दो jaw है, these jaw are used to grip the material. Okay, so now this in this case, so this jaw is grip the upper part of the material, and this jaw will grip the lower part of the material. Okay, and here in the upper part of the material there is a load sensor. Okay, so this load sensor will sense the load, and this lower part means this lower jaw along with this attachment, or this attachment will move down or upward. So this attachment can move up and down. Hmm? Okay, so if this attachment can move down, then the material attached between these two grips will elongate. है ना? So as this grip is can move, that's why this is called actually crochet. This is called crochet, and the movement of crochet is called the that's why it is called a moving crochet. Okay, now there is another attachment. This is actually extensometer. So this extensometer sometimes used to measure the exact strain value, means how much the material elongate in percentage is actually exact value. Why it is exact value? Because by the movement of this crochet, means suppose if you take the material from here, and this crochet will move down, suppose this amount. Okay, move down or this amount. So this is actually suppose delta L. Okay, so this material will also elongate in elongate just delta L amount. Okay, isn't delta L amount? But if you measure from this movement, then there is a some slackness, means this arrangement screw and nuts there are actually number of arrangements, means number of linkages are there, so there is a chances of slackness. है ना, या lackness होने का chances है. So that's why from this measurement you cannot get the exact strain value. So to get the exact strain value, you have to attach a extensometer. This is nothing but a strain gauge. This strain gauge actually measure the strain value correctly. Okay, so see, this is the extensometer. So this extensometer is attached to the specimen. This is the specimen, and by applying actually in this case the stress is not applied. The stress is sensed by this load sensor. Okay, so means you are giving the command. There is a controller. So I think suppose this is the controller. So you are giving the command to this controller by making a method in from this window. And so in desktop there is a program in the most common software to test the tensile test is Bluehill. Another is Bluehill. So from this Bluehill software you can generate a method, and you are giving the command that this crochet will move according to your given command. Means suppose this crochet will move 5 mm per minute. Okay, so this is actually input value. According to this input value, this crochet will move towards down, and this load cell will sense the load. Actually, you are not applying the load. You are giving the input that this material have to stretch at this rate. Okay, understand? Or so this tensile test can be performed in three control mode. One is extension control mode, extension control mode. Another is strain control mode, and another third is load control mode. Okay, so extension control mode means you are giving the command to the machine that the crosshead will move like 5 mm per minute. Okay, in extension control mode, in this case, the test will control by this extensometer. Means by this moving of this extensometer. Means you are giving the command to the extensometer that your specimen will elongate at 0.5 percentage per second. Okay. Means this extensometer will increase at 0.5 percentage per second only. And to increase to opening this means there are two mouths. I think you are visible that in this extensometer. Suppose this is the extensometer. So this extensometer have two mouths like this. So these two mouths will open actually. Okay. So opening of these two mouths is you can control this opening of two mouths. Okay. And gap between these two mouths is called the gauge length of the extensometer. G gauge length, GL, gauge length of the extensometer. Okay. So in this case, you can test the tensile test. You can very precisely control the tensile test. Okay, because this is actually a strain gauge. So this strain gauge can be uh, precisely control the tensile test. Another control mode is load control mode. So in this case, you are giving the command to the machine that 10 Newton per minute will increase, means 10 or 100 Newton suppose. So in this case, you are giving the command that this amount of load will increase. So in this, now to increase this, so if you increasing this amount of load per minute, then the material will elongate. Okay, understand? Now this is the simple so now this is the simple tensile test geometry. ASTM standard tensile test geometry. So ASTM standard, according to the ASTM standard, this gauge length, this is called the gauge length of the specimen. Means this sometimes this is called also the parallel length of the specimen. So this parallel length and this diameter is called actually gauge diameter. Okay, so if your gauge length of the specimen is L and this diameter is D, then according to the STM standard, the ratio between gauge length to as per this. Okay, so according to the STM standard, this length divided by gauge length divided by gauge dia should be this ratio should be 4 to 4.8. Okay, so this is actually STM standard rule. Now, some elastic properties of material. So if you are applying a stress, so you are applying a stress. So what happens? The material elongate. Okay, so this is the initial length, and after applying a stress or force, the material will elongate up both sides by del L by 2. So along the height, means along the length, it will elongate, but along the width, and thickness, in this direction and this direction, along the width and thickness, what will happen? The material will contract, means along the width and thickness घट जाएगा. Okay, क्योंकि वॉल्यूम ऑफ द मटेरियल रिमेन्स कांस्टेंट. तो अगर मैं मटेरियल को इलोंगेट करूंगा तो क्या होगा? Then if it is in rod and cylindrical bar, so if you elongate the cylindrical bar, then length will increase but diameter will decrease. So suppose in this case there are actually three-dimensional changes, means along this z axis, means along the height, it will increase by del Lz by 2, means both the in upper part del Lz by 2 and lower part del Lz by 2, means total del Lz. Here Z means Z direction. Okay, so length is increased both the direction, upper part del Lz by 2 and the lower part del Lz by 2, and along the side what will happen? Means along the x-axis the material will contract, means here del L by 2 amount will reduce, means this value actually negative value. Okay, पहले Lx था, अभी del x by 2 amount, means in both sides del x by 2 amount will reduce. So this the axial elongation and lateral contraction, means axial elongation means elongation along this axis, and the contraction, lateral contraction, means the contraction perpendicular to this axis. These two ratio remains constant. Means along the, this is the extension, lateral axial elongation. Axial elongation is nothing but पहले क्या कितना था? del naught, and along this z direction, so del naught z means it increased del Lz by 2, and by dividing this del L naught by L naught z, means original length along this z direction. So this amount of strain, okay, if you multiply by 100, then it will get percentage, and if you not multiply, then it is absolute value. So this amount of axial elongation and this amount of radial contraction. Okay, so these are the same, means epsilon x and epsilon y are the same for isotropic material, and if you are applied the uniaxial load. Okay, so means if you applied a uniaxial load, then these epsilon x and epsilon y are same. Okay, means the value will be same. Okay, so the ratio between this epsilon x divided by epsilon z, means if you are divided by epsilon z by for of these two value, then what will happen? Epsilon x divided by epsilon z. Okay, so this ratio will be always constant. Okay, and this ratio is denoted by this symbol, and this is called actually Poisson's ratio. Okay, so Poisson's ratio is nothing but a ratio of the lateral contraction, okay, with respect to the axial elongation. Okay, so now as per example, a tensile stress is to be applied along the long axis of a cylindrical brass. So this is the material is actually brass material, brass rod, and has the diameter of 10 mm. Okay, then you have to determine the load required to produce. So how much load is required to produce this amount of, means 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 3 mm of change in diameter. So means change in diameter means diameter will reduce 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 3 mm. Okay, diameter if the deformation is entirely elastic. Okay, and here given the Poisson's ratio is 0.34. So in this case, this is the diagram. So the original length L0 and the original diameter is D0, and after applying force, the length increases L0 to Li, and diameter decreases D0 to Di. Okay, so in this case, you considering just along this z-axis, what happened? The material elongate. Okay, and along this x-axis, the material contract. Diameter is reducing. Okay. Okay. So in this case, Ez is nothing but Ez means the increase of length, means del L with respect to original length. Okay, so del L means the final length minus original length divided by original length. Okay, and epsilon x will be how much? Decrease in diameter with respect to original diameter. So decrease in diameter means original increase after decreasing the diameter minus original diameter divided by original diameter. Okay, so from this formula you will calculate the epsilon x value. So this epsilon x means this epsilon x is delta d divided by d naught. Okay, and this is nothing but a 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 3. Yeah, it's now 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 3 actually reduced. Okay, so and divided by this d naught is the original diameter, that is 10 mm. So so by just putting this value, I will get the epsilon x equal to this amount. Okay, now epsilon z will be how much? So epsilon x divided by epsilon z is the Poisson's ratio. So epsilon z is nothing but a epsilon x divided by Poisson's ratio. So now just dividing this epsilon x with Poisson's ratio, you will get the value of epsilon z. And then sigma stress is nothing but a E into epsilon z. Means this is actually Hooke's law. So from this Hooke's law, sigma is equal to actually epsilon into E. Okay, or you can say that this E equal to sigma divided by epsilon. Okay. Now, so from this formula, just putting the E value. Here E value is given 97 into 10 to the minus 3. So this just putting by multiplying the E value with Ez, you will get the sigma. This is the stress, yield stress. So this is equal to yield stress Ys. Now F equal to stress into original area. So original area means diameter divided by 2 the whole square. So, okay. So pi in, sigma into d naught divided by 2 whole square. This is the actual area. Sorry, this is the area. Okay. So just multiplying this original area, I will get the F value in 4. Okay. Just practice it, you know. Now, some another what is the proportional limit? So proportional limit means I will tell in earlier that when you applying a force on this material, suppose this material applying a force, the material will elongate. Okay, and suppose from here you just remove the applied load, then this material will come back to its original size. So this point is called the proportional limit. So proportional limit is nothing but a point from where if you remove the applied load, then the material will come back to its original shape and size. Okay. Then yield strength. In the previous class, I have told yield strength and how can we calculate. So this P is the proportional limit, and just you are applying a load from at the initial there is no load, and if you are applying a load means this load divided by area means stress. Applying a stress, the material will elongate. Elongate means straining. Then it reaches the proportional limit, and if you again increasing the load, the material will elongate like this. Means elongate in this way. Okay, so this yield stress is calculated. This stress is beyond the proportional limit, and it calculated by just offsetting this this linear line. Means linear line is actually initial to proportional elongation is linearly. The linear deformation occurs from start to proportional limit. So this is actually linear line. So this is actually linear line. So if you just shift this linear line to 0.2%, so 0.2% means absolute value in 0.002. Okay, so you are just shifting this linear line is 0.2%. So 0.2% is nothing but a in absolute value 0.002 means just you multiply there 100, then you will get the divided by 100, so you will get the absolute value. So 0.2 divided by 100 means 0.002. So just you shifting this linear line to 0.002 value, and in this case where this line will cut at the stress strain curve is the yield stress. Okay, but some material this type of phenomenon are occurs. So in this case, after reaching this yield point, instead of increasing the stress value falls down. Okay, then it when the stress value remains constant, but material elongates, and then the material behave like this. Means then again material elongates by applying the force. Okay, so sometimes some materials behave like this. Means after after reaching the yield point, the yield stress will drop, and no stress is actually required to deform the material. This means there is no stress is required. Stress is constant. Okay, but you just the material elongates. Means without applying a stress or force, the material elongates. Okay, and after this point, the material means to again elongate the material, more stress is required. So this phenomenon, this yield drop phenomenon, this drop phenomenon is called the yield drop phenomena. Okay, so this is actually yield point phenomenon. So this is called yield point phenomenon. Okay, so why this yield point phenomenon occurs? So see this is actually, and this value is called the upper yield point, and this lower value means the average of this lower value is the lower yield point. So and this is actually yield region, sorry, yield point elongation region, this region. Okay, so why this yield point phenomenon occurs? So actually what happened here, the slip bands are formed. So these are the slip bands. Okay, and this part actually unyielded material, means this amount the material, this portion of the material till not yielded till now. Okay, so just this is actually slip region, means the slip band. So slip band are actually formed. Okay, and so or the material actually deformed by slip phenomenon. As I told in the previous class, the material is deformed by slip phenomenon, by slipping of just like a one block with respect to the another block. Okay, so this is the actually unslipped region. Okay, and this is actually slipped region. Okay, so this unslipped region will slipped without the applying of force. Okay, and this is happened by formation of slip band, and this is actually called the Ludar's band. Okay, so just see in this video. So here the first slip band are formed, and this slip band will occupy all over the material, means the yielding will complete here. Okay, so this yield point phenomena of some of materials like mild steel is occurred due to the formation of Ludar's band and Ludar's band formation of the. Okay, so this formation of by formation of Ludar's band, the slip phenomenon occurs. Okay, so this is the image of Ludar's band. This type of bands are formed. Okay, and due to this slip phenomenon occurs. And yield point phenomenon occurs. How much time is remaining? Oh, okay.